Hey YouTube, so I'm making this video to just sort of document the process that I've gone through with this Commodore 64. A couple of weeks ago, several weeks ago now, I guess, I found this at a retro gaming store. The owner of the store didn't know much about this, era of gaming at all. He had like just the system, a couple power bricks, a black one and a white one. I grabbed the white one. I also grabbed this enhancer drive here. I think in total, it was like $70 between everything that I paid him, but it was kind of an as-is price, which in hindsight might not have been the best price, but we did check in the store to make sure it powered on. And it did, but we had no monitor to hook it to or anything to make sure that it actually did work. So, yeah, I brought it home. I checked out the power brick to make sure the voltages were within the correct range, and they were acceptable. So I plugged it in, turned it on, and what I'm going to show you is basically what I saw from the beginning with this unit. So here, and it's not going to be easy to see because of the flashing of the TV here, but we'll see if we can get an idea at least. So right, it looks like it's working just fine, but if you wait a little while, the screen will eventually start to freak out, right? You'll get all kinds of weird random characters, and here it goes. See how the prompt is changing, the characters are being replaced with other weird random characters. So that's not good, right? There's a lot of info online about different things that it could be. It could be RAM, could be PLA, could be a number of different things. And believe me, I've gone through and tried different things. I actually, I'm going to turn this off for a second. I actually went and got, this is a dead test cartridge. It's the 781220 version. There's more than one version. This one I think is like the more basic version. So I'll plug that in and I'll show you what happens with that. All right. So there is a manual for the dead test cartridge. It tells you there's flash signals for memory failures or RAM failures, and there's like a diagnostic screen that'll come up, and I might be able to show you a little bit of that, but it tends to not work very well, especially if it's booting from like a warm boot. If it boots from a real cold boot, you can see it's trying to load this sort of diagnostic screen. Down here, what you would normally see is all the RAM chips listed, and then it will do like a good bad check against each one, and then up here there's like a 0 page and a stack page, and those will go through, and then I think it might do like a sound test and some other things. But as you can see, you can't really read it. It's the same kind of symptoms here that you would see just booting without the cart. And if you shut it off and then boot it back up again and it's warm, often you will get a flashing pattern, which indicates that it can't read a RAM chip. It's probably not warm enough yet to do it, but anyway, trust me, that's what happens. So yeah, I've been kind of scratching my head trying different things with it, and this is where we are now. Now you can see the RAM pattern going. So you should be able to count those flashes and then say, oh, that's U12 or whatever, that's failing, depending on the flash pattern, if you compare it against the guide for using the diagnostic cart. Right, so I got this cover just on loosely right now, and actually I'll go ahead and just connect it. Everything's kind of loosely put together here, but and yeah, my LED cable just came off, today, so I gotta solder that back onto the end of that guy. But so just to give you an idea of what I've looked at so far, I've looked at pretty much every trace on this board, both on the top side and the underside of it. The underside, it looked pretty clean. I did test voltages here. I put some heat sinks on the VIC-2 chip here to make sure that some of the heat is dissipating, because it does get really hot. This mine in my bottle, which is the 1983 model, this was boxed in, and the piece that would go on top of it is here, right? And it has this kind of clip that you put thermal paste on that touches the chip and helps to dissipate the heat. But I just didn't want to take that off all the time, and plus I think these heat sinks probably do a little bit of a better job. The other thing is, if you look, you see this weird looking chip here. This is what they call plankton PLA chip, because a lot of sites recommended that, yeah, the PLA chip could be the source of your problem based on the symptoms that you're seeing. And I'll show you another look at the screen here. Normally, like if this has warmed up for a while and then I start it again, I'll get like this colorful pattern. It's starting to glitch out more, but we'll see. There it is. So yeah, I'll get this like colorful pattern, and that you'll find that commonly on the internet, and they'll say that that could be PLA, and then RAM can also be responsible. So I was looking through here and testing all the RAM to see if any of them feel warm. I've seen those checks done. None of them did. All the connections between them, because these are kind of in series, but if you start from one pin and then test across, and I did that on the underside, everything seems to test out between them. Now that doesn't necessarily mean there isn't a problem, but there could be. But then I looked at the multiplexers here, or the data selectors / multiplexers. I had some versions of these that could have been problematic. So as a troubleshooting step, I actually pulled out the ones that were there, put sockets in, and then put these new chips in. Of course, that didn't make a difference. I have heat sinks on some of the ROM chips here, just because I had a few heat sinks and I decided to put it on those ones. The SID chip, all this stuff that's socketed has been reseated multiple times and tested. So what I'm going to do today is I got in the mail another set of chips to try out. Now I'm not going to do all these right now because some of them are chips that are not easily swapped out, but I am going to at least try out replacing some of these ROM chips, and then this one I can't, because that one is not socketed. I can do it later, I just can't do it right now. And then this is the VIC-2 chip, I believe, so I might try swapping that out to see if that helps. And we'll do that in just a few minutes. Oh, okay, so I just swapped this guy out. This, I believe, is the basic ROM. I could be wrong. I get these guys mixed up. It's like character, kernel, basic, something like that. But there it is. I just swapped that out. Now I'm going to power it on and see if we have any different behavior. Absolutely not. Same thing. All right, so let's try the next one. Okay, so now I've changed this chip out, 901222702, and we'll see if that makes a difference. It's different. I don't know what that means though. Okay, well, that's obviously not the right screen, so we'll try again. All right, well, I've swapped all three of them out now. You know, that's not to say that, you know, more than one could be bad, or, you know, maybe none of them are bad. Maybe I just made it worse. Okay, now we've swapped out this guy, 901222501. Let us see if anything looks different here. No, we still have this garbled mess going on here. Okay, so, you know, it's possible that, you know, none of those guys were bad, and I don't think that they're often the culprits when you have the problem that I'm seeing. It was just that I found these chips for cheap online, and I thought it would be worth giving them a try. I probably am going to put mine back in afterward, you know, if I do get this fixed. But you know, it was worth giving that a try, because what could ultimately end up being the case is RAM failure, in which case I'm going to have to snip each one of these guys out of here. I'll have to cut all the legs off, probably, just because I don't have a desoldering gun or anything fancy like that, or I don't have a heat station either, so or hot air station, so I would have to snip all the legs off of those, and then, you know, in a very tedious way, desolder each one of those and resocket them. And I probably will do that eventually, but I'm hoping for a quick win here today. But all right, on to the next thing, and we'll see if that works. Okay, so I spent quite a while socketing these 4 RAM chips. That's just one bank. There's a whole other bank. I would say it was about 2 hours or so messing with those, but you know, they came out pretty good. I didn't do too bad. Didn't rip any pads off, so that's always a good thing. I know I'm going to have to do these ones too, but I just don't want to spend another 2 hours working on it right now. But anyway, yeah, let's power it up and see what happens. Actually, I'm going to pop. Sorry. I'm going to pop this guy out for now and just do a straight boot and see. Yeesh. So again, it looks different. Yeah, it's obviously a similar pattern to what I was seeing before, but it is different in a way that I haven't seen before. I don't know if that's good or bad. I really hope it has nothing to do with the work that I did. I would say it's more just another clue here, points towards, you know, finishing the rest of the work on the RAM chips. So all right, that's where we are.